I think my unit was built in 2006, so that's one.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending. There's a lot to cover, so we'll get through this relatively quickly. Just a reminder that this meeting is streamed live and is recorded for public viewing on the 10th of June. I'm going to change the agenda around just a little bit tonight. So I would like to welcome in-house. We have all the groups involved with the celebration of lights. So
Village.
Christmas in the village. Right idea, wrong group. Well, I'm gonna do a review there first. So we'll skip to 6.1 on the agenda. Christmas in the village review. So first of all, I want to start off in the works department for one of the prettiest community Christmas trees seen. I was around to a couple different spots in Plympton. I will say without question, ours was really nice. So thank you to the entire group that put that together. Mayor, thank you for your email following the event. Appreciate it. Same with you, Leslie. Thank you for your email. For all those following online, Christmas in the Village was put together by 9 groups. Most of us here know what they are, but some of us don't. So I'm going to do a quick run through. The Legion, so who donated popcorn and hot chocolate, as well as sponsoring the horse and carriage. So thank you. The fire department, thank you for the s'mores, who manage the fire pit and assist with traffic control and delivering Santa Claus to our opening ceremony. Masonic Lodge, I don't think it's here, who donated their time to assist with the displays, as well as parade and parking control. Plympton-Wyoming, who assisted with the event setup, parade and traffic control. The Egg Society, who donated the use of the grounds, handed out cookies, which I never got, but that's fine, and who sponsored the other horse and carriage. So thank you. The Lions, who donated hot dogs. The Lioness, who donated the crafts inside the fair building for the youngins. And the events committee, who looked after the various displays, taking care of the celebration of lights band, looking after Santa Claus and various other ideas, as well as running the holiday lighting contest. And the tractor parade, we're organizing a talented lighting decorating parade. It was awesome. So thank you to each and everyone here, for those in your respective groups, for all that you do to make this a tremendous success that it was. Well, it was nice in December, nice to have snow. We had a bit too much, which made things a little bit tough, but we managed. At least it wasn't rain and grass. So the Christmas in the Village event has grown tremendously in the last couple of years, but like everything with growth comes challenges and the ways to improve our event. So here tonight, we're here to break down the event, to learn what can be done better. It only helps to promote continuous improvement for our event. With that, I'll open the floor to each group to weigh in on the event. I'll start with the fire department.
I'd say it was a pretty decent night weather-wise. Huge amount of people that showed up. Did have a few people had mentioned that they did not get down to the fairgrounds afterwards because of the time frame with young kids. So look at doing something with the time down the road. I think probably because different people had brought up as well that came down to the fairgrounds, the time frame between the delivering Santa uptown and then the tractor parade getting started. Little kids were getting pretty restless, and that's where some of them didn't make it down to the fairgrounds to see the other part of the event there. Right. So yep. And with our fires we had, I believe we would have enough to cover everything for the people that did show up. Other than where our tent was that we set up going forward, I think we need to have it up closer to the front because a lot of people had no idea what was going on with the s'mores until we had to kept circling around just trying to pass the word out. We actually have all the stuff there to cook the s'mores over the fires there. So once they heard that,
yep,
then I made some signage to be able to help out with that as well. So
yeah, for sure.
Let's see, Stu.
Lions.
Not in no particular order. I wrote these down 3 months ago, but I stood up at the tree in the beginning, put some barricades down, and then made my way down there. So I got to see a lot of what was going on. We did have a huge gap again to get the tractors rolling. In there, we had no traffic control at Broadway, so all the roads were closed except Broadway at Confed. But then we had all these cars coming down, and then they're blocked in because we've got all the roads blocked off. To find out the second cop was sitting at the Legion. Sitting at the Legion. I've got here, we need to get radios on the volunteers. A for the parade, B for better communication, C, I was asked, once I got to the fairground, several times where Brad is. I have no idea. I mean, I never saw Brad all night till the very, very end. Like, so if we get radios on everybody, we've got you in control, and then everybody, A, can call you and hear what you're telling everybody.
Good idea.
So I think that would save a lot of confusion. And like I say, I'm calling Al on the phone about Broadway, chirping him out. I'm not even down at that end. I'm at the other. Well, who's down there? I could see a yellow light, but we got to get this box up there. So that we can do better. I thought overall the night went very well. I thought the crowd was great. I thought your setup was good. Everything at our end with the hot dogs and everything went well. I was very pleased with the number of people. It was very cold and I passed more people coming out than going in. And like I say, I was only 15 minutes, not even that, 10 minutes behind everybody, just running some barricades down. So, because it was cold, the little ones were going home because it was that cold, but saw that. One of the big issues was there was no Santa letters for the lioness to hand out. So I went to send the letters to Santa, and I think I got 3. I think I did 50 some last year. Like the pre-stripped ones where they put their address in and all that stuff. There was none of that. Nobody had any clue about it. So just
We had a mailbox full of them.
No, there
but
wasn't.
they were just
Full, it was kind of like they were folded.
Oh,
so it looked
folded.
really
and,
cool, but it was-
and there's no address on them. There's no, it says 4-year-old sticking a thing in there with nothing on it. So Santa did not deliver. He delivered 3 letters this year in our area. So we make that on our list so we don't forget them for next year. There was supposed to be a sign put at the corner of Toronto and Main, stopping people going down to the fairground. In the cars, remember, it was only for handicap parking. I come up the trail and there's a lineup all the way down the road of people trying to get in the fairgrounds. So I finally went up and got it stopped. Al finally sat there with the truck and blocked it. But then we got these people trapped again. Nowhere to go, which I told them just pull over to the side, the horses and get by you. Good enough for now, but and that got missed. OPP didn't have a clue what they were doing. I had to stop her at the tree. I just started to wait to let Santa and everybody get going. Like say there were knew nothing. She got there in a car and that was her. Okay, what do you want me to do? So very nice about it. We sat and talked for 20 minutes and cleared, like once the street got cleared, I said, you can go now and we can open it and we let it go. Long time getting the parade going. A lot of people thought the parade started at 5:30, so they were there extra early. To find out that we're not starting until 6. Because we changed on the poster or somewhere, but again, that time got screwed up, so there's again, the little kids have been standing around for an hour freezing. Got here, who the hell was Elf?
I had that too, Mr. Councilor Vaizey, if I may jump in too. There was a gentleman dressed as an elf going up and down the main street and high-fiving kids and that, and no idea who he is. And I'm sorry, but spider senses were kicking in.
Well, was he with us?
No, Greg knows who he is. Talk to Greg. He knows who he is. He's in the gas station every morning. He's a bit odd.
He's on patrol, is he not?
Yeah, he's a bit of an odd kookadook.
Oh, that's very good.
So that leads me to, as we're getting bigger, should we consider first aid and security? We really don't have anyone doing any type of security types, if, I just threw it in there.
I think the fire would handle first aid though, because you guys would have a,
Yeah, the rescue truck, yeah, if we ever met back.
yeah, so, yeah,
But
but,
we should
yeah,
have some kind of signage or something for.
yeah.
Next year, we need to do much better job at parking. We have none. If we'd known Friday, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, but it being that cold, we could open the back gate up.
You keep it.
On the back of the fairground. We had to get it pushed, plowed, and, you know, we wouldn't have hurt nothing. The year before, we couldn't have done that because it was so mild, we would have just destroyed it, but I got in here, we need to have signage. Where to park for people that don't usually come here. I
Mhm.
don't know how this will go over, but the feed mill, maybe approach them to see if we could park in their parking lot for the night. For a couple hours. Behind the Lions Hall.
Well, the FEMA won't be in existence next year. We're shutting down March
They're
31st.
closing in March. Me?
The feed mill's.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, but whoever's in there that maybe we can utilize their parking lot. Like I say, behind the Lions Hall, Al got it all pushed so we could use it, but we need signage for people that the locals know to sneak back there and park, but.
The challenge we have is there's just no real parking in downtown core. You really don't want to direct
That's our,
public persons for a public event to a private property unless that private property has an agreement. If they agree without an agreement, that's
absolutely.
their choice.
Just maybe
What they're
approach.
doing. Parking behind the Lions Hall is challenging because it only takes the wrong CN guy to be around to give us heck. So yeah, parking is going to be a challenge no matter what we do in this town because we just don't have a large parking area.
And additions I've got here. The Legion we should maybe look at putting another drink station in, because you guys were lined up. There was 40 in line all night. So just have two things of hot chocolate or something there to speed that up. Signage for the toilets. Everybody asking me where the toilets were, even though they're just inside, but. Somebody, should we approach the schools and maybe do a live nativity scene?
We have tried approaching the schools for,
Okay.
like, we asked them for decorations this year.
Benches for the fire, which we've talked about. Someone suggested just one big bonfire. Like not for doing the s'mores, and then a bigger one that the adults and everything just stand around and that throws off some heat. Volunteers better marked. So your vests or something, especially at night, they couldn't see you. And then the people that got spoiled last year with the hot chocolate and Bailey's at the Lions Hall. Requested it again, and we went to the one in Dresden where they shut the streets down. I don't know what they call their proper thing, but they had one and their hot chocolate coffee with like Bailey's and a shot of whatever you wanted in it. Again, it was 40 people deep. Whole time we were there. Well, maybe something
It's a night market.
the
Yeah.
fair looks at that
Mhm.
if they want it. And that's it. Other than that, like, I know they're like nitpicky stuff in here, but it's not a criticism at all. It's just stuff we've missed and we've gotten so big that never thought of that. But like I say, I think the radios would help
For sure.
tremendously. Then you're not, fire department's got all kinds of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give out the fire department, so I would prefer to give out the
Well,
book.
the town's got some, or rent some. If we have to rent some,
With that.
The radios, don't we rent a bunch during the fair?
yeah, I was gonna say, if we have to rent them.
Well, yeah,
First.
yeah, it's not hard and it's not that super expensive.
No.
$100 or something like that, I think.
Yeah,
Isn't it from Marsh's?
Yeah, short march.
yeah.
And it would help, like I say, because then even if I'm not involved, I know what you're doing.
Yep.
And she's already asked the question, so I don't have to. Like everybody was looking for Brad and it's sucks to be Brad, but if you're the one there, like one guy in charge. Doesn't matter what the answer is, as long as everybody knows what the answer is, you know what I mean? So it was. And it's not a criticism, there's only one of you and. But like I said, I thought the night one I did. Just over 700 hot dogs. And we couldn't keep up. Like it was as fast as you could stick them in a bun. You know, they went, and that was probably in 2 hours.
The drinks.
Yeah, like you guys were swamped. So,
For a cold.
not to say, maybe if we split it,
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's good.
It was cold.
For a cold night, that's good.
After that, I was happy with it. I thought everything went well.
Chair, I
Say about
believe
that.
Jill had a question online.
Yeah, Jill.
No, sorry, she had her hand up, so I wanted.
Overall, I think the night was awesome. It was amazing. I'd have to say that was the first one I've made, so I was very impressed. Like I said, parking. And I'm using the Fair Board as an example, but they have a lot of elderly people. They're not gonna park uptown to come to walk down to see what's going on in the grounds. It would be nice if we could arrange something. I know you can't discriminate between the young and the old and that, but it is tough for them to come down and enjoy what's going on there. Inside the building, kind of felt bad for the kids. They didn't get to do the craft there. Now it was painting, I think. I'm not sure what the little crafts were, but it would have been nice if it was something they could have done inside while they were sitting in there. They were told, I think, that they were just take it home and. So I just,
Never made it in, so I had no idea.
yeah, so I think that would be better, you know, they could have sat in there and enjoyed them. Maybe next time we could get some music playing, just so it's the Christmas vibe inside too.
Right, yep.
It was kind of. And maybe, you know, a bar might be nice. Then the adults could have something too.
And that's something, obviously, the Fair Board.
Yeah, we would have to look after that, yeah.
Get to tail.
But some music playing, just the Christmas vibe in there. But it would have been nice to see the kids, because they were all coming in, they were freezing outside. You know, they could have sat there and drank their hot chocolate and did their crafts and ate their cookie.
Yeah.
You know?
For
But
sure.
for the most part, because there was a lot of people inside,
Sure.
yeah,
It
it
was-
was a lot of people in there.
Very, see you. I made it in
Oh, yeah.
at the very end of the night. Yep.
Like I said, it was great, like we all were all outside at the fires and. Participated in everything, it was a good night.
So your name was?
I'm with the Legion. It was the first time we had all the tractors in our parking lot. And it was just full, and we didn't get the right communication all the time, because it first started and didn't stop and didn't do, and then it do it again. And then we still had people coming down the road trying to get to the Legion, and we were going, oh. So you weren't getting the message, and then quite a few of the people from the Royal Elite were watching from their area, but they couldn't make it to the fair. They are hoping next time there'll be some type of wagon or carousel that would bring them there. But you saw we were quite swamped with the beverage. Really. And
Yeah.
we're gonna try to close the gap next year. And the popcorn and everything else will continue. We'll just have to make more space for us. Taking the load. Also, I took all the pictures of the tractors that came out of the gate. And I was freezing.
I can imagine.
Oh,
It was way too cold. Good.
Yeah.
Right, Lisa?
The overall feedback I've gotten is like all the drivers had a good time. Everyone seemed to enjoy it, but there was a lot of confusion because the initial flyer said 5:30.
Yeah.
Then like I had posting for 5 o'clock for tractors to be at the Legion. 6 o'clock, the parade started. But then the next flyer that you put out said 6:15, so people were really confused. So it just needs to get kind of clarified better from the word go instead of trying to fix it after.
See, I know we put an initial flyer out way back when, basically to let people know what's coming based on at the time what we knew the timing might be, but at the bottom it always says times are subject to change. Please check our.
And our,
Listen.
thought of,
We don't put a poster out then, which is a problem.
and I think the thought of the 6:15 was that by the time they left the Legion and drove around, they would be at the tree.
Yeah, but people are like, and I get that, but when the tractor parade leaves the Legion at 6 and people are looking and going, okay, then they think we're leaving the Legion at 6:15 instead of being at the tree at 6:15. So I think we have to eliminate the whole, it's going past the tree at 6:15 and just say it leaves the, like wherever it's based at this time. Because if you have too many times there, people get so confused and then I guess you're ripped off.
It's whatever.
It's
what
just
they
too.
Saved is the one they're reading, right? They haven't taken
Yeah,
that.
they don't look at what is next or anything like that. They just
Got a
look
strip ripped off you?
several.
Just because
Because
the,
people are cold, right? So somebody saw that it's set for 5:30.
yeah,
So they're standing out there at 5:30 waiting for the tractor parade.
Yeah.
And it was bloody cold that night. And so there's people with small children waiting. And they're like, well, we were told that it was this.
I think that's one thing we're gonna have to look at is the timing of everything. We're trying to schedule too much. I think we need to really, like, maybe we won't have a set time for the tree lighting. Maybe it's just tractor parade starts at such and such, tractor parade and tree lighting at, so
Yeah.
the trees being lit and the tractors are all coming by at the same time.
and everything else to follow.
If you try to put both at set times, fair is enough. You're not gonna make either time. Everything gets jumped back and everyone's gonna be cold and miserable. Ready to say, parade starts at 6, we'll light the tree. The mayor will be standing there waiting for the first tractor, and then as soon as the first tractor gets up there, lights go on.
Like, and we left Legion right at 6. We were right on time. But then we had the steam engine, which we can't have next year. It literally logged everything. And it's too much. It's too much. You know what? You want a people mover or something like that? And with that thing to move people around.
That's what.
Because honestly, it cannot be in the parade next year. Like it just, Greg kept having to stop, literally stop and wait, because they broke down, then they were going and it was like, okay, gotta slow down, Greg, gotta slow down. And he's like, seriously? Like, he goes, we're stopping like constantly. So it slows up too much.
Biggest thing is, them things aren't designed for that colder weather.
No.
Not a steam engine.
No, and that was,
It just ain't gonna happen.
so, yeah, unfortunately, we just can't.
Some of it, that steamer one was the main attraction at the beginning.
Well, yeah.
Everybody loved it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he just sets up down at the fairground if he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to be part of something, then
Some smoke.
give him a task of some other sort, but
Something that-
Yeah.
But he's just not geared enough. So
no, it's not, it doesn't work.
Comment.
And then when we got to the fairgrounds, there was no parking really. So next year, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna drive right through and out the back gate and sit, because we just can't park.
We don't get enough
There is-
parking, and then that gives you parking for the.
For the people that do need to be in
We're not in the freaking parking lot there. That'd eliminate one problem.
I agree. I think trying to get the tractors in with the peoples is just a recipe.
It was fine, but there was, when we drove in, I'm like, there's like a whole row, like all down that horse fence line. There was a row of cars and I'm like, well, that's where we're supposed to park.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so I had to jump off the tractor and start, directing people where to park. And I'm like, this is, it's nuts, because that one spot that we needed was taken. And I mean, if I wanted to be a real lovely person, I would have just blocked them all in, but I'm like, I don't want to do that either, so.
And I ain't gonna say next year, we could have more tractors. We could be over 50 next year. And we're not turning them away. If they wanna bring them, it's gonna get bigger.
Sit and then we'll,
Yeah, so if we can just leave, go right back out the fairground, we go right back to the Legion or vice versa, then you got all kinds of parking in there.
what if we, what if we park you like at that end? Down by, like you say, the horse,
well, we were down there.
but we block it off so nobody else parks back there, but push, instead of having you right there, push you more to the back.
Back on the grass.
The cattle and all, like,
I think you have,
There, that's the problem,
I
like,
think you have to allow for some parking at the Legion. I think you have to do that, you can't have the tractors coming in and out, because you're gonna
At the
have,
fairgrounds.
it's running by the fairgrounds.
yeah.
I think you have to allow for parking at the fairgrounds.
I think honestly,
It's too cold otherwise,
once people see it, they don't need to stand there and gawk at it for another half hour or an hour afterwards. Like, once it goes through as a parade, I think that's fine, it suffice, and then we just keep going around.
You guys are set up in at the Legion and all around McKay Park, and you do a big long loop to get back there. And you guys finish up with your thing and everyone can make their way down to the fairgrounds afterwards. That's probably best, and then you're not
Because even if we did,
spilling over each other in the end of the night.
if we did the same loop that we did to start with this year, and then after we leave outside the fairgrounds and go the same route that we did last year on like this side of town, and then up to the Legion and Park, then that's more space that people can sit along side roads and watch.
No, we come right back out here to London, go up London.
Yeah.
And go up Erie to the Legion.
Yeah, you can cut Confed out, which means we can detour people on to Ketter, down Confed into Ketter Way, and then cut half the intersection off over here. And then that makes your route a fair bit smoother, and it gives the people a way to get around everything as well. So it might be a little bit of a zig and zag to go there, but it would work.
Change it up.
Well, I know too, some of the cars were pretty close too, cause Rumble just had the big 4-wheel drive in front of me. I was waiting for to take out one of the mirrors right there by the Lions Hall. And
Yeah, that
somebody
was-
said it was easy to pull duals off them tractors. Nope.
Especially not in -20.
Nope. If you don't got a heated shop you're working in to start with, and a lot, them are getting heavier than duals all the time, so if I gotta tell somebody to take duals off, they're not showing up.
Well, and that might be, I know you don't want to limit numbers, but you may get to the point where we have to kind of put a limit on numbers just because of practicality. We may have to look at a maximum width because there may be cars parked on both sides.
That's a problem.
And you may have to look at a minimum speed to ensure that the parade is efficient.
Keep the pace, yeah. No, it's all learning curves here, yeah, that's for sure.
My only concern with, and I'm looking at the Fair Board's point of view, would be, you know, I freaked absolutely right out when the guy from the town cleared off the northeast corner of the fairgrounds where the horses, people lined up for that, because all I could think of is scraping the grass. So I freaked right out and I went over and said, please don't do that. I appreciate it, but please don't do that, because again, I'm putting myself down the road thinking what might happen if spring comes and they're like, skipped. Right, that I didn't, so I don't really want to see any more grass at the back or in the side parking lot, or back parking lot scrape. I don't want to add more fuel to the fire for any group down the road, that's all.
I think some of the tractors though were on the one side, because making that turn with the fire truck off of the highway, where like at the corner where Foodland is, there was little kids there and parents tried, but the kids are all attracted to the tractors. I think especially the one that had the double wheels, it was just too big to make that turn safely and to make sure you
don't put barricades up.
Well, and this would
have to
bear
verify
too.
that.
And I think next year we cannot do ad hoc road closure. I think we're gonna have to plan early with the county that we're detouring all truck traffic around Wyoming through county roads. So we may incur a cost to work with the county to do that. Hopefully they work for free and do the closure for free. And then for local roads, we'll have to do our own closure, and that would be through Ketter Way. But I think we need to get, we don't want to send transport trucks down Main and Ketter Way. That's not.
And what I was meaning, like, can we not put, so the tractors coming around at where the TD Bank and stuff used to be, can we not have barricades there to keep the kids off the streets? Since the parents don't seem to be wise enough to keep their kids back?
We could, but the kids will probably just hang out on the barricades and go.
But literally, like, whether it's a tractor that was my size or whether it's a tractor the size of Rombout's, it doesn't matter. Like, they're coming into your space anyways, because I drove that last year and it doesn't matter.
We
You
got a
can say,
video.
don't have tractors X size, but they're gonna come in and crowd your space no matter what. Like,
Yes. But like from like when I was standing on the corner there with all the little kids around me seeing the tractor turn, I was like, I'm sure the driver knew what they were doing, but they're way up there with 30 kids running all over the place.
that's also the responsibility.
100%.
Yes.
So
Yeah, but it's,
So going back to what I said, though, maybe we need some people there, invest or whatever, going, okay, stay back, people.
but then
We
we,
tried that. That lasted how long? Right at the start, and then it was just, they just
Yeah.
wave around behind you. And
the problem is we need significantly more volunteers as this event gets bigger, and we just don't have a lineup of people volunteering, unfortunately.
And the challenge is you guys use a lot of public works overtime to get this set up, like.
When saying that, can we not approach soccer club or a club here in town and ask them if they want to volunteer? As a fair board member, that's what we do for some of our parking, that kind of stuff for Fair Weekend. Can we not approach, because the kids want to see the big ones.
Yeah.
They want
The
to see.
Masonic guys said that they would volunteer more people, or
Yeah.
however many needed, like, there was more volunteers available, it's
If
just.
it's crowd control on the road, it'll have to be an adult.
Yes, oh yeah,
Yeah,
but the soccer club is,
Club.
it's all the,
moms.
it's the moms and the dads that do it.
but it would be up to it would be up to the soccer club or hockey or whatever other organization loaning us their volunteers. And I mean, we signed up for soccer now and we already pledged to do what we were doing, so we would
Some of that
have
stuff's
to,
already taken care of, 20%.
we would have to
Okay.
prearrange, but even for setup next year, we
Need more.
we need more people. There's just not enough in our committee.
Which is really a good thing because this is
Yeah.
nothing but positive stuff in the community.
I got a video of the amount of people uptown on the streets. That Travis and Morgan were up in their tractor and the steady people down both sides, right full. Never seen that many people up downtown, just unreal.
It was definitely awesome. I did touch base, have a meeting with the OPP, so I can give you their comments. So I'm surprised when you said that they didn't know what they're doing, because Paula, with the lady problem, she talked to me the day before and I told her exactly, you need to be here this time and do this. But in the heat of the moment.
I talked to.
Yeah. So, anyway, so Paula's suggestion, or the OPP auxiliary, not OPP, her suggestion is they need a road closure, given the size of the parade. Probably a road closure will be warranted going forward if it's the same size or bigger. People were very pleasant, but they were at their limit, so. The people that were crowding the road uptown, basically, because it's a one-way street, very large farm equipment, which I think we've touched on. Maybe putting barricades along the main street. Keeping everyone off the road would work too. Easier said than done. When turning by the grocery store to get to the fairgrounds, everyone's walking on the road while tractors and parade and vehicles are still driving there. So she found it as an OPP auxiliary perspective, very dangerous, which we all agree. So definitely something that's got to be addressed. She just reiterated these are just her opinions and no way represent OPP's thoughts or opinions. So.
And I agree with her 100%. We have to have formal traffic control plan next year in partnership with the county. It's that way we can
It
get
was
us.
too much for myself and my crew to try and handle what we were doing. Yeah, there was just three of us out there. That's just too much to try and get things going and then following up behind, tearing things down so vehicles can move. Some people were just there for the parade, so they wanted to get going. They're like trying to squeeze through spots they couldn't get through. Yeah. One other thing, I mean, if I could step in there a little bit, the tractor parade, I echo a lot of what Mike was saying about the traffic control and stuff there, but the communication with the drivers on this one here, they kept coming back out the main gate, and I'm radioing back to the organizers. You got to tell them. They said we're telling them, but they just kept coming out. I was so afraid of a kid or somebody getting run over because these tractors were coming back out Main Street and they're supposed to be going out the back gate.
Yeah, they were all told
Yeah.
ahead of time at the fair, like.
Yeah, repeated to me a couple times, and we just talked to them again, but they were not listening.
Yeah, part of the problem too with that was that they couldn't get out to the back because we were
Cut off.
cut off because of all the traffic that was in there.
Well, and to keep traffic flowing, that's why I know you'd love to do like Main Street around London and back. You might need to taper expectations for next year where you start at down there, you come down Erie onto Broadway, you go up to Main Street and then back around. Yes, that'll detour a little bit of our traffic abilities, but then allows people who've parked along the west side of town to go up and down London Line and to get out. If we start doing this big circle, you've got road closures everywhere and it's gonna be hard for people to get out of town and not the parade does attract a huge amount of people. Not all of them necessarily stay for Christmas in the village. So we have to make sure we leave enough open spaces for people to get out without causing more safety issues.
And another thing, I was set up at Toronto and Erie Street, kind of blocking that intersection. And tractors were supposed to be there for a certain time frame, and you guys are like 2 minutes from go. Still got them coming around the corner to go to the Legion.
I know that.
Which that messes things up too, because we're trying to block traffic. We've already got people set up and they're trying to stay back behind us, and the tractor's doing this, trying to weave through everybody to get down the side streets.
Yeah.
So I think there should be a cutoff time and just say, if you're not there by this time, you're not in it, because there's already people set up all over the streets that somebody's gonna get hurt. They're trying to hurry up and get there, and the kids are running and all getting set up, so.
I know there were several people that were trying to get there on time this year, but they were having mechanical issues and stuff, so.
Well, there's couple of them were putting lights on the last minute too. Yeah. And some of them just got done ripping. They just come out of the field.
Understood, totally
Put the lights
understood.
on, and these guys are still working grounding out at that time. I'm quite surprised he showed up personally.
Sue just wanted to mention that the choir did not show up this year. They were on stage all week up to Saturday. Every one of them come down sick the next week, and out of 15 that she had lined up, there was 14 that were sick in bed. So it was just, they'll be happy again if it works out, depending on
Love to
their,
have them again, yes.
their stage time next year, but they're planning on coming back. They're all pretty, they enjoyed it so much the 2 years before they were here. They thought it was great. They're all city people. They don't see this and come out your first time, and they were in awe. They were just,
I had some comments. People.
you guys do this?
missed them, So.
Yeah, they all lost their voices and they were fighting it all through the week too, so.
Happens.
Yeah. That's all.
Events committee group, I guess I'll start online there. Mitchell,
Yeah, I was just taking notes as everyone was talking. I think, 1 second.
Dog bomb.
Okay, I think the timing, I agree that having set times for things is an issue. Just because if you're behind on one thing, that messes everything up beyond that one time. So I think however it plays out, you could just do time estimates or windows of different things that are happening, and then, or as a go time for something, and then whatever happens on from then is whatever happens on from them then. Street safety, yeah, like vests. I think the radios, somebody brought up radios, having everyone talk that way is very good. So if you're over here and somebody's way down on the other block, they know and are informed on what's going on uptown. When somebody's having issues at the fair board or fair building, let's say. And then just signs, safety lights and all that kind of stuff. Keep people back off away from the tractors. And then I know parking was brought up as well that I heard. I know there's no parking spot really to go, but maybe the public school is one place to approach. I know there's parking there. And then, yeah, the hot dogs were great. And then the suggestion for another drink line was great. And then I like that the fair building make it a place to stay inside. Maybe people can warm up in there, people can do their crafts, have some drinks in there, have some other food in there, make that another place to kind of hang out and bring people if it's very cold out. But yeah.
Thank you. Jill.
I agree with everything that was said. I think just as a committee member, I would like to say that because this is a group effort between all of us groups, that moving forward, even though it already is, but moving forward, there needs to be more recognition for each group individually to have their own responsibility, like to take care of their own responsibilities. There seems to be a real shaded area of where one group is, and then they're gonna do this, and then are they thinking that the committee is going to oversee that everything goes all right, or you know what I mean? Like it all kind of bleeds in together, and I think each group needs to put together, finalize, and then at our pre-event meetings say, okay, we've done this and this and this and this. This is what we're going to do, and we've checked off all of this. And if there's groups working together, like the Lioness, I think it was the Lionesses were going to be in the in the ag building, so they're actually working with the Fair Building or Agricultural Society, then those two need to have communication. Here's what we're doing. When should we set up all that kind of stuff, which I'm sure they did, but I think everything needs to be more solidly arranged within each group. And then the pre-event meetings are, this is what we're doing and it's okay with this person kind of thing.
So for the rest of our group, just to move this along, does anyone have anything that hasn't already been talked about? Alex?
The one thing that I noticed is if there's a way to reformat, when the mayor was talking on stage, that the stage felt pretty far away. So I'm not sure if many people even realized that there was like that the mayor was doing an address at the beginning, or announcing the winners and stuff. But there's a lot of stuff there, so I understand why it's hard to make everything fit, but it just felt like Santa was on the far side one way and then the stage on the far side the other way. So if there's a way, I don't know, just to try to tighten it up.
I think the layout would have been totally different had there not been as much snow as there was.
Right, for sure.
Okay. I thought of another one that I've been brought up, the washrooms uptown. If people are standing there for an hour with their kids running into Foodland, you know, anybody that's open looking for a washroom, either we put some in or a great big sign at our corner, you know, to the public ones down by the Ball Diamond, we'll make sure they're open. Something. I never even thought of it, that they say they're standing for an hour and then
They'll be shut down.
Yeah, they'll be shut down for the winter. They're shut down for freezing. We drain the water and everything out of them.
maybe we bring a couple of porta johns in just for the night.
Heat a trailer in with porta potties or whatever in them, so.
Well, that's but uptown when they were waiting for the parade.
Fairgrounds.
If it's just waiting for the parade, you might be able to get away with just the front foyer. We can turn off the alarm system and allow the foyer.
Yeah, even the library would be open.
And then once the parade is done and dispersed, we can lock up the door and set the alarm.
Yeah. Just a thought.
Just based on how many people are around, like the bathrooms at the fair building, there's just not enough capacity, right? Like, so to even have a few porta potties, like those trailers or whatever, at the fairgrounds
Yeah, maybe we'll have to,
would
cause
be helpful, because there's a lot.
there's 500-600 people.
People were asking for washrooms, and that's why some of them left, because they didn't know where to go, so it was a topic.
Like when I went to the washrooms a few times and there was never a lineup in the ladies' washroom when I was there, at least. So I don't know if we need more at the fair. I don't know if we need more there, but
Think about it.
In a way, these are all good problems.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
to have, right?
Big.
Because that means we're doing something right, that means we're growing, that means we're getting the attention that we're looking for. So growing pains, I guess, is what I would call it, right? So the only thing I would say, just like you got chewed out, I got chewed out, for the simple fact that they said the tractor parade was too long. No, these are their words. tractor parade was too long and I got some comments, probably because of the cold weather and being angry and kids and blah, blah. They would have loved to stay to see more of the stuff, but they had to go home. So that's kind of echo what you said. So again, these are good problems that we just have to tweak, I think, really.
I just had a few things.
Yeah.
Well, I did have a couple of people comment, they really enjoyed the hot chocolate. Some people got burnt their mouths a little bit. So I don't know if we do two next year, if we wanna have like a kid version that's less hot and then an adult version. Or if we just wanna try to keep cognizant of the temperature, cause I did see a couple kids that had burnt their mouths. And then I think the layout for sure we'll have to tweak next year. That's it.
Anybody else for my group?
Just one thought, and I think it's already been touched on, but I think everybody that's involved in it, doesn't matter what job you have or where you're, what group, identification, like safety vests or something like that. I think people need to, like Brian said, they've gone to him, where do we go? Because obviously he's in his fire outfit, but other people here all have ideas or they can help them out. People need help, they know who to come to. So I think, whether it's just even a safety vest or something of all the same color with whatever, identification is important.
I know you had brought a bunch, but people are scattered before you even got the thing out.
I brought 50 of them.
People scattered.
I had 50.
Too quick. Yeah.
I have one question about the tractor parade, and I've been doing parades for a long time, and I've gone through all the legal issues and everything like that. Do you have a meeting for the parade that you go, that every one of the drivers is at?
Yep, about 2 weeks before.
No, not 2 weeks before. Like within 48 hours before, because people forget.
We do 2 weeks before, and then that's why we have everyone show up at 5 o'clock at the Legion. We have, we meet them, we have a chat, we have a check-in, they get their number, and then we can answer any questions that they have at that time.
Yeah, right. And you should have them, you should maybe make a set of rules for them so they know what they are, and like, I dealt with one of them at the bottom. And I'll tell you right now, if he was in my parade, he'll never ever come back. And I said to Brad, I said, that's not, thing. I just stayed cool and everything.
In what regards to,
I'm not gonna say which one it was, no.
I can't fix something if I don't know.
No, but anyway, me and you can talk about it afterward, okay? But I know what the legality is if somebody gets hurt. It's not the drivers. It's gonna be every one of us that's gonna get hit. And it happened in Kitchener.
They do sign off on a sheet of paper.
Yeah, but you're still liable because you run the event and we run the event. So all I'm saying is that you might want to make some rules and give them to them beforehand, have them sign them and send them back. And then at the meeting, just initial that they were there. That way you cover your liabilities and everybody else. Because it will, I'm going to tell you right now, it will happen, not on purpose, but somebody's going to run out. Like when I was down by the gate where they're coming in, some kid tried to squeeze by when the dual tractor was going through. Okay, there was only this much room on either side of those pillars. All right, so just a point of it. I'm not criticizing. I'm just gonna give you some advice, and if you don't want it, that's okay. That's fine too. But I've been there too many times, so.
There was a few issues with people parking where they shouldn't have parked, and we had gone over and said, you can't park here. And after after some choice words, I'm sorry, but you just have to move down. One person who was rather irate took off and came very, very close to hitting somebody. Very close. Yeah. We asked him to move. Even though there were no parking signs there. But anyway, anybody else have anything, Gord? No?
I think everything's been said.
I think the only other thing too is if we have this much snow next year, we need to do something different with the snow. It can't be up to our committee to shovel all that area. And I did not do much of it. I think it was Gord doing a lot of it and Mike and Ingrid and like that was very heavy snow and I don't think that we have any liability for it. So
Well, I think the challenge is we're gonna have to look at the core purpose of the special events committee. It's less about decorating the town and it's more about hosting special events. So maybe that's something we look at in the future is that maybe less concentration on leaving the decorations up and making it a one night thing, or looking at how we can work on it together to set it up in a permanent location at a park and the town takes that part over, because if that's gonna be the challenge, is where do you draw the lines between what special events supposed to do and what we do for decorating our municipality?
Yeah.
Are we all good with the review then? Everyone online?
Maybe we budget some works time. They're down there, like I say, with the machine and can blow it off for.
And just spitballing, because if we've outgrown the lines. Plus you guys are gonna have the outdoor pavilion, so that is a bonus in one area, but it'll reduce the area for fire. So it's unlikely we're gonna be back at the lines. It's more likely we're back at the fairground if we continue to grow like this. So maybe in partnership with the Lions, we set up the Winter Wonderland in a way that it's less likely to get damaged in the weather. Maybe we use the pavilion, which is easy to get shoveled, and they can walk through there into Winter Wonderland. So maybe between special events, Public Works, and the Lions, we can get something ready for next year that we establish a little bit of Winter Wonderland there. So that's not necessarily a one-day event, and it's something that people can enjoy. Or at another park.
Yeah.
So are we all good then with the review? You guys all good with the review?
Won't see this problem again next year.
It's a great.
So with the review, what I'll do is, I have a bunch of, reading, from intact public entities, which are sure about things we can all do to mitigate risk. So I'll put it on the agenda for this committee, just under recommend reading. And then you can read it through the agenda. I'll email it to you ahead of time. So, but it'll just be a part of the agenda, so we can show that everyone did it. I'll email it to all the other members here too, so they can have a look if they choose. So we have a bit of an understanding of that. And then when we get together in the fall, we all know we have some information to draw back on, and we can go from there.
So again, on behalf of myself, just appreciate everything that each one of you guys, people with you and buildings that you've done. It was a tremendous event.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
I was there watching it. It's a full day for your 2 days for you guys.
Yeah.
3 days, I guess, because you
Yeah.
got.
You know, afterwards was 2 days and 2 days before.
No,
it was good. So thank you very much.
didn't.
So you doing it again?
No, I was there for them.
Yes.
See you right now. Yeah, so I'm going to move back to the regular meeting. I have a motion here moved by Ingrid and seconded by Gord that the minutes be adopted of the special event committee. And that the confidential minutes of the closed sessions of the committee with main confidential from public disclosure. With the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection and Privacy Act. First, referring to the minutes in the package of December 1st, 2025. Any errors, omissions, changes? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Um, 5.1 accounts. Motion here. Sorry, moved by Gord. Maybe signature, did you sign it, Gord?
I signed something, I don't know what it.
Moved by Gord, seconded.
Here's the check, sign this.
Seconded by Carolyn, Special Events Committee, receiving and available 25th January 2026. And again, those are in our package. Questions, comments, queries? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, number 6, Christmas in the Village. We've done that great, wonderful event. 2026 budget. We had a online budget meeting. I don't know when it was now.
January.
Yeah, January. It was January. So I'm just gonna hand these out to the people that are here. Same thing as what we've seen before. Um. I need to get up and walk. Need. We have enough.
I don't know if everyone saw the news release today, but the budget for both the 25th anniversary and your standard budget grant was approved as of today.
Oh, no,
Okay.
very good.
Well, we can help.
Really good question.
The seed money was the same.
You knew that question was coming, didn't you?
I did, I just didn't have it up and ready yet. Yeah, your typical annual grant for special events was as per previous years. Yeah. 75, 70 something.
Okay, so we had a Zoom meeting back in January sometime. All I know it's a snowstorm day, so a Zoom meeting at that point was wonderful. Kind of finalized finally over the holidays what we did for 2025. You're pretty close on everything. The only thing that we went over on was Christmas in the Village. A few thousand. But that kind of was remedied by some of the groups really should be maybe taking a bit more responsibility of things that they need for their portion as opposed to looking to us to for them. So that is just a quick overview of the 2025, kind of where we are, what we budgeted and what we came in at. 2026 budget expenses. Like always, I go with my gut, watching the news, social media, talk to people. I'm gonna say probably the word that came across the most to describe 2026 is apprehension. So I redid the budget based on that. I lowered down our expectations for sponsorship. Mike is away right now and he'd be able to fill us in a little bit more on this, but where I thought we'd be and where we are, actually, we're doing far better than where I thought we'd be. So that's good. But I still lowered my overall, I guess, expectations because of the word apprehension kept coming up most of the times. Went through the expenses based on some quick phone calls with some of the traditional players. They're holding the rates again because of their apprehension. Again, just tried to best as possible put in there, I guess, based on past history, kind of where we are for budget amounts. Some of the dates that I had in here were wrong, but those were pointed out to me during our Zoom meeting, but we'll kind of finalize that. One of the things that we did, I guess, I know it's further on down in there, but CCAM, and I know that when I questioned Al a while back, there's no more room. Our CCAM is right full. Like it's right full. So I don't know if right to the east, there's, we can tuck one in really close.
Honestly, Brad, we're stuck for room in there as it is. We're sticking trucks in that compound. There's material that we have to drop off in there when we're doing excavation, whether we're putting in scrap metal goes in there, part of our fencing, our park stuff, picnic tables, like that compound's pretty tight as it is. We're really limited to the space in there.
Like even where initially it was dropped off in behind to the north of the building, is there any room there?
We offered it inside the compound because he did not like it being there with the way he comes in with equipment. There's trucks that come in there. That's why he suggested sticking it in the compound with big room there. There might be a possibility, a second one squeezing it right up against the Quonset hut on the other end.
Oh, on the west side.
On the west side, I'm not promising that either. That might be a fight too, but That might be a better spot. Adam, I don't know if you want to chime in on that.
I'm thinking of alternative locations. We can maybe put some, let's, you, me and Paul, and maybe your foreman sit down and have a discussion. Maybe there's alternative locations that we're not thinking about.
Will there not be an area that we've got sand, salt, that kind of supplies that are sitting somewhere else that we could use a yard of some sort?
No, our public works yards are undersized for what we have now. We're actually looking to possibly in the next 5-ish years to build a new facility because we're so undersized as it is right now. Let's sit down as staff and see where we can find a spot to accommodate. I can't promise that we can, but
is there anything in that, is there any room in that building at, Lakewood Park, Lamrecton Park?
Recon Park.
That's right full.
We have, right now, there's a lot of the stuff from the summer rental, the trailer, the coffee shop. She keeps stuff in there. We do have our sidewalk plow and everything that's parked in there. And when we take the benches and the planters off the street, they all get stored in there as well. Some other equipment. So that building's pretty full as it is too.
Adam, keep us in mind for that new yard.
yeah, your problem sounds like a now problem, not a 2 to 5 year problem.
Yeah, but we might have a bigger problem in 2 to 5 years.
2 to 5 years.
2 to 5 years, the problem might be less, yes, but
Your projects are getting bigger and bigger here, yeah.
Yeah, we are definitely right full. Just enough room to close the door. So I guess I'll just leave it with you gentlemen to kind of see what's available. If it is, that would be an absolute blessing for the committee. If not, then
I mean, the other
not,
option
but-
too is if we had somewhere to put, like, a lot of it is the big boxes with Christmas decorations. If we had somewhere just to store those, that we could tuck them away, because we really, like, a lot of the other totes were in and out of a lot, but
Yeah.
if we had somewhere to store Christmas decorations.
we have to buy storage from
Yes.
storage ourselves here, so it's I
Yeah.
don't know how much space we have.
We really don't. I mean, you said that building out at Lamrecton's about the only indoor storage we have. And we utilize that thing to its fullest.
Garage down on Brook Street on the east end, just in
I
the,
was thinking more so this one. We've all been there, done that.
Let's put our heads together. I don't know if we'll be able to accommodate it, but let's see if we can find a spot. It might have to be somewhere that we weren't really thinking about, temporary, but let's put our brains to it.
Okay, I definitely appreciate that.
Addition on this building.
Where?
Go up. Europe is up.
Oh, there is that.
Basement, go down.
Yeah.
So I guess that I appreciate that, gentlemen. So just let us know. That is my budget based on gut instinct and talking to an awful lot of people. That Mike is adamant, and I think I can speak for him tonight. He's adamant that he's gonna do the same or more than what sponsorships, but God bless him. So.
Brad, I can tell you a few of the people I've been talking to, it's not looking promising from some of the ones that we've had last year. I've got to saying that they just isn't money available.
Apprehension is a lot. Now, interestingly enough, I have been working with one company who have always been small. Last year, we not hounded them, but we asked them politely for a little bit more involvement, and I had some conversations with them over the last month and a half. They may be interested in naming rights for an event and wanted to know what all was involved. So I know as a group, we haven't really talked about it that much. So I just used my experience with the tractor pull, what's required for a naming event there. And I'm still working with them. So that would, it's all relief, I guess, but I mean, let's see.
Do we have any idea, I'll look into you, Adam, or even you might know, what kind of costs are we looking at when it comes to closing a road? Do we have to pay for off-duty police? Like
I don't want to use the OBP for that.
Okay.
I think it's probably more expensive and harder to organize.
I wasn't sure if we had to use them.
I don't think we have to use them. Alternatively, we would have to either beg the county and solicit our local county councillor to work with them to try to see if they'd be willing to like close the road like Friday at the end of the day and reopen it Monday. There wouldn't be any barricades in town or anything. It'd just be the road closed, local traffic only signs at the county intersections. And that would get a lot of the trucks going around. Then the public works staff would have to do the local road closures, which actually probably will take a little bit more time. So
The only reason I say that is because that's gonna be a cost that naturally falls on community/town, so we might have to shift some of the stuff that we're supporting if we're going to look at added cost for closing roads and
to date, the roads department has really been subsidizing the road closures and that kind of stuff. There's no real direction to start changing that, but we are starting to track that just so that council has an idea how much extra goes towards it. So that'll be in the budget next year, just as a general expense line, so we get a better understanding of it too. So for this year, it's likely not as major issue, but so you may have to budget for some fees to the county. As if we're not successful in lobbying them to do it for free, we may have to pay them to do that closure.
Maybe we could start charging $25 a tractor to go into the parade. Plus, 25 times 50, it'll add up.
Or maybe even just a donation.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
just something I thought.
that parade, I believe.
Hi.
And it was 50 minutes from start to finish to go through the gate.
Yeah, we need a proper traffic control. That will help eliminate a lot of the headaches. I think we need to limit time in the route of the parade and not try to combine. We're having two events the same day at the same time, but they're separate events. The parade will do their thing, they'll end at the area. You'll do your thing at the fairgrounds, and that way we don't get these high risk interactions that occurred this last year. But yeah, we'll need to possibly budget a little extra in your Christmas in the Village for potential traffic control. That's all.
Yeah, I do hate really stepping on any group's toes, but I really think as much as I don't want to say, I think we need to say there's a limit to the tractor parade. Basically because of OPP's concerns, safety concerns of ours. I think there needs to be a hard and fast limit. And that's it. I know they want to grow up bigger and better, but there's gotta be a limit. I think. So that is my beef, if you want to call it.
I use 80 marshals, plus my committee to do the parade, and these marshals they rotate with the parade, so. Cause you get some spots that it's too much, and even the road closures now, to save money, we've gone hitting road closures. So it's, and here's one thing you can do. We get a lot of students and then they use their hours. That is, as long as they're in high school and they're in grade 10, they can use it for community hours and they're covered. So it's a committee.
If they're doing anything to do with traffic control, they would have to be over 16 years old.
Haven't had any issues yet. Well, most of them are 16 years old, but there's the odd one.
Really not a problem.
Yeah. But more for keeping the people back. What I use them for. I use the cops for the
And I don't want to cause friction between your two groups. I'm thinking that you guys are the town committee, you guys are organizing the group. And I think realistically, unfortunately, my office needs to be the conduit between you guys and the parade. We will work with the parade group. We'll still do all our meetings together. We'll still plan everything together. But the parade group really is separate from you guys per se. They'll be working with the town direct. You guys are your committee of the town. You'll be working with the town direct. And myself and Alan and staff will be in the meeting in the areas.
That's probably better anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want any friction with it. The parade's great.
Well, I don't want to say that they can't be bigger, but yes, we don't want to be an hour-long parade. That's a little long. And we need to be mindful of how we flow through traffic and stuff. So I think we're the best ones to have that discussions because we are the ones who are taking that liability. Yeah, that means you had to plan your village portion of Christmas in the Village.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, shoot.
Is it out of the whole realm to suggest the parade be like Friday night and we be Saturday night?
I mean this in the nicest way, but I think your large attendance is I think you guys work well together. I think you without the parade does not get the same attendance you do. I think the parade without your event doesn't get the same attendance. I think to separate the two at this point would not be a good idea. I think
agree.
I agree 100%.
It has to flow.
I think to turn the parade and send them away from the fairgrounds is not a bad idea.
I think although they need to occur at the same time, I think we need to have some separation to ensure safety.
Yeah.
But I think separating them is problematic because I think the community now expects it as a one big event.
Totally agree.
It would be nicer to have it start earlier, so then there's more time for Santa and everything too.
I think too, though, we used to start it this late because it was on a Friday, like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
It used to be on a Friday, and then we
Yeah.
moved it to the Saturday, and we moved it to a different weekend. And I know it needs to be dark, but it gets dark fairly early.
Dark at 5 o'clock.
We could start it an hour earlier,
Right.
and it's not a big deal. And there's hot dogs, there's popcorn, there's lots of food and snacks. I don't think that will be an issue, so.
Where the separation will start to happen, because the tractors don't want to go earlier. They want to give the guys time to get out of their barns and stuff and get their tractors to get here. So that's where you might see that.
And maybe the Christmas in the Village event starts at 5, it rolls all the way to 8, but the parade itself doesn't start till 6.
But I think that gets
It's time to
hard,
get
how
out.
do you get people from the fairgrounds back up to the tree and then back down to the fairground?
Well, I think you're just gonna, I don't think you have to plan that travel. I think you just let people float. They want to come and have a hot chocolate before the parade. You guys are there and all the community groups are there to do that. You know, you're gonna probably be pretty dang quiet during the parade, but then everyone flows back. Cause you're gonna have people who are gonna go with the little ones. They're gonna go see you guys first. They're gonna get a hot chocolate and a snack. They're gonna watch the parade and then they're gonna get the heck out of there to get those kids home. And then you're gonna have the older kids who are gonna come by after the parade to have a bite. So I think you might want to look at it not scheduling anything that Christmas in the Village is open from 5 till 8 or 9. Parade occurs from approximately 6 to 7.
Or we could even start the, down at the playgrounds earlier. I mean, we could start, no reason why we couldn't start even at 4:30.
Sure.
4:30, and people come to our place first, do our their thing with us, and then move to where the parade route, like you said, and then go home from there if they want to, especially if they have the young children. Anyway, something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, you're right, Al. That might be the separation that
Yeah.
we need. So online, everybody okay with that? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to move this along. So anything else in the budget right now?
I'm wondering, Brad, if our budget's gonna be a little tight, that maybe we want to get it back down to 4 events instead of 5. That we're sponsoring, and I'm kind of thinking of the vendors event. Right, that's a fairly new event that we've done, but if we need to, that would be the one that we may want to think about eliminating if we have to. Yeah, if we have to, hopefully not.
Definitely, we definitely look at it, for sure, Yeah, we could definitely look at it for sure.
I think you have some reserves too. And that's, we did. Also, Bojan and myself defended those reserves because there was some suggestion that since you have reserves, maybe the seed funding needs to be less. But we noted that almost every year you guys fund almost everything through donations, and donations can dry up like a snap. So saved the budget amount and the reserves. So maybe you plan to do that, but if you see donations are slow, your fall events are a little less extravagant, or your late summer events are a little less extravagant to save some money.
Exactly.
I saw that marathon session. It was good.
I tallied it up. It was almost 6 hours.
This was good. Okay, so moving on, 6.3, I guess, Adam on this one.
You have a $35,000 budget with a $500 donation that hasn't been accounted for in that already. So that's $3,000 or $35,500 as it sits today with council's allocation and donations.
Did council make any recommendation on dates, or they're leaving that to us?
They mostly have appreciated everything you've done. And I think you are the absolute best group to help us carry this forward. Especially since we've taken and we think taking personally, the mayor and some others feel that, yeah, skipping Canada Day is, we always seem to struggle to celebrate Canada, and celebrating our anniversary on that day is a fabulous idea. So I did mention to Brian Fear that we were possibly looking at Father's Day weekend, and that might be something we invite the Wyoming Firefighters Association to join us in discussions. Cause she actually thought it might not be a bad idea to host the events in conjunction with each other, so that Bacon Burgers is even a bigger event. The town-wide garage sale is even bigger an event, and you have this giant celebration too. So there's some definite interest in working together on this.
Well, that's awesome. So that leads me then to the next question. When is discussions taking place?
Discussions for,
What you guys would like to see?
I think we want to leave the celebration part open to you guys to plan. The historical part, the town staff will work with the Historical Society and Lambton Art guys to bring forward the celebration of our heritage. But the, creating the celebratory portion, we feel like you guys are the best to lead that.
But there'd be certain things that you guys have in your mind though, that you would like us to
You're
get.
very much open to suggestions right now. Just got a budget to work with.
I could suggest,
Go downtown, put a fig fair amusement thing right in the middle.
I would suggest it would probably be welcome that the events committee can put their minds together, knowing they got 35,000, and propose ideas, whether you want to do, rides like we do at other events, or whatever this committee can think of. The ideas that come from this table, I'm sure will be appreciated and liked by council, but yeah. Creative freedom with that price tag, I think.
I will need to save a little bit of money for obviously advertising, but secondary, some of the historical aspects, we'll probably want to save some of that money for that. We're hoping to get a grant to accentuate that in not necessarily for the 25th anniversary, more for raising Plympton-Wyoming's profile through strategic communications. I wrote the grant. So there would be some of that. If we don't get the grant, we would probably be using some of these funds to help promote some of that heritage. So you're probably easy $30,000 just for the event itself, and then you'd want to probably leave about 5,000 for historical initiatives.
We've got to work on that.
I think in the brief discussion we had, it just needs to be a really good party.
Any locations discussed, or is that open?
We're open. It depends on what you're going for, it depends on where you want to be. I know when we first brought this discussion up, a lot of people said that the fairgrounds would be a good idea. It's a large venue, they have a lot of experience with this and would be a very helpful partner in it. So that's still on the table. Although McKay Park has its charms, I feel for an event this size, it might be a little too big. There's very little parking around there, and even with our picnic in the park, that park gets very busy. So I think although it's possible, that might be a challenge just because of the neighborhood characteristics. I know early in our discussions, you all suggested that the Wyoming area and the fairgrounds would be the easiest. Hosting it out at McKay Park, or sorry, Arnold Lee Park would be difficult just because of the logistics of everything.
So I'm gonna ask you this then, where are, without knowing too much, where are the town discussions at with what is happening at Reese's Corners?
Nothing. The big date for 2026 are no longer. We had been floating a redevelopment plan, but that potential redevelopment plan has will not be moving forward as initially pictured. So we are having to reconsider our development plan on that. So as this summer, there's likely not going to be much there.
The only reason in my mind is because it's central between Plympton and Wyoming, right?
And I actually agree. And there's space for parking there as long as the weather's dry.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad idea. We would want to discuss it with the tenants in the property though early,
Just because I know Solutions at one time had inquired, right, of what's going out there.
There is no hydro there, so you would be renting a generator. I am pretty sure that we have contacts with a local rental company who would be able to get us a large generator, but then your large generators create lots of noise, so
Septic system?
you would be going porta potties the whole way.
No, I mean, septic system out there
Directly behind the building and to the north of the building, so you wouldn't want to set up anything there. And that's a security issue anyways. You probably wouldn't want to use anything behind or north of the building. You'd want to leave that closed off and then just have everything either parking like up a front along Oil Heritage, and then the celebrations happening to the south of the existing units there.
With the residents,
There's a few houses there, so we would have to coordinate with those residents early too, if that's. So yes, that's an absolute possibility, and we've talked about possibly using that property for those kind of things until we finalize the redevelopment plan for it.
Can I ask one question, Al? The McKay part, how is that progressing with?
Or the renovations? They're expected to start doing all the mechanical stuff here in the next week inside the building. Electrician will be coming in to start outfitting. We asked for a quote on upgrading the system, but I don't know if I got that. That was before Christmas. I'll double check on that. Yeah, everything's going well. The building's gonna be all renovated inside. We got a bit of a grant there as well to help do some renovations in that, so.
Like the only reason in my mind is the central location is because no matter what, whether it's my days in the Fair Board times or here, no matter what, it is still it's very tough, and we have tried as a committee for the last 4 years to try and knit it closer together, and there's still some definite separation in there. I think if it's held on the south end, you're gonna have less. If it's held on the north end, you're gonna have less. So I think a happy medium is maybe in order, but
But with the bacon burgers uptown, it might be better off in McKay
that's
or the
that's right.
fairgrounds because
Right.
people will walk.
Depends on what you said, the fire department, and was there any other groups that approached you knowing that this was happening? No.
I
So,
had discussions with the Wyoming Fire Association just because of our discussions last year when we first started talking about this.
And you may not need to have a hydro issue if you're with the fair board, fair buildings, right? Correct?
okay, it's just a matter of putting our thinking caps on and, okay, no, that's fine. Well, that'll be cool. To plan.
Just curious, would you be able to have fireworks?
again.
You got 2 fuel stations.
Right off the bat.
Boom. Be some interesting fireworks.
You could probably have what they call brocade fireworks, right? They don't go up overly high. I've had a brief discussion with a guy in Windsor for that, but they call them brocade fireworks. Or else I've been in discussion with a company for a smaller road show.
Yes, that's
No, nothing there.
possible.
I noticed that when you stood up, you didn't have it on your hip.
Yeah, and I got the clip, but then okay, I'll find it. It's all right.
So I have a question. The yard right there across the road. That's the townships, right? Could you set the fireworks off there if you did anything?
A lot of commercial properties around there
Is there? Okay. I was just thinking because of the area.
Fuel tank.
and fuel tanks that are, yes.
Oh, okay.
Fireworks are becoming increasingly difficult for any municipality to.
Yes.
You have very large open space. A lot of them will do it in like their multiplex sports fields because it's a large open space. But other than that, they're starting to get away from
The water.
For water.
yeah. And a barge to set off fireworks at Lamrecton Park would be awesome, but I would hate to see the cost of it.
But there's no reason, if we did happen to go that route, there's no reason why we couldn't separate the 2 events by having fireworks to cap off the event out at the Lamrecton, right?
Yeah, it's a ball diamond.
Yeah, you could get away with that, because they're not built back there yet, the homes, right? All right, well, it's full food for thought anyway.
So yeah, you could split it out. You could have the event one day and you could have fireworks the next evening or even later that evening or so yes, you could probably split it out and I have no objection to that either. And then you're actually getting multiple areas involved too, so.
Well, that'll be good discussions, actually.
Can I jump in for one
Yeah.
thing? While we were on topic of the pool, is there any way that we could get like 6, 8 family swim passes that the committee can use at our events, to include in donation baskets?
Probably, I would suggest you'd wanna request to the Parks Board. Which conflict of interest do you claim on this?
I remember we've discussed it in the past and we had talked about it too late, but it would be nice to include in like picnic in the park and that stuff.
Yeah, I think yourself or Brad as chair or vice chair, just a very short email to Jessica Wilson saying that, explaining what you intend to do with them and asking the committee if they'd be willing to donate would be more than sufficient. And you'd be probably willing to get that on the next agenda, which is in 2-3 weeks.
Plenty of time.
Or a month and a half from now, there'll be, so we have a little bit.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Any questions online regarding the 25th anniversary for that? No? Okay. I'll move down to new business then. Alex.
Yeah, I got it out later than I wanted to like last year, but it's the same format that we did. I think 2024 was the first year we did one. But basically just something to show our donor, like our donation, how far people's donations go and the success of the events, and in a perfect world, encourage donors to donate again to see, you know, how many kids and people attended our events.
9.2, we've already covered that. 9.3, 2026. Can I add while we're looking at 9.4? Can I just add in there Easter extravaganza? Unfortunately, something has to be by then. Okay, so 9.3, 2026 event. So these dates we quickly touched on in our meeting in January. These dates were kind of when we were tossing stuff back and forth back in November. These are kind of some dates that we thought would work. And then this is also based on same weekend events that we had for 2025. So for the first event, April 4th, which is the day before, which we've always had. So I guess the question would be, will that date work? And is the community center available?
What was that?
April 4th.
Okay.
For Nicole, was wondering if the community center.
Sorry.
Checking.
What, did you say the hall's not available?
Well, I'm just asking if it was available for.
I guess we have to check with Jeff on that.
So June 13th, that's the weekend before Father's Day, correct?
It is, yeah.
That was one of the dates we tossed around that might work, but that open for discussion, so.
I don't like that weekend. I'm not gonna be here.
That's the day we always traditionally held it, right before Easter.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's always,
I don't see anything on there right now, but we can confirm with Jess.
Okay. If we can book that, and if we can also book in our date, since we have it, just so that.
so me, then moving down, the picnic in the park, suggestion, item that you made last year about holding after seemed to work out quite well. So that's where that date kind of materialized from. And believe it or not, I've already hit people on me about the safety day as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of things, actually. Hence brings up that I don't like not having a meeting in January. For the simple fact, a lot of people are deciding what they're doing for the whole year. in January. So we're going to be tough time on getting some things this year for food vendors already. They're getting few and far between, which we found out last year, and they're even fewer and far between this year. But we've known some of them, we've worked with some of them enough that they thought this is when we might have it, so they're holding stuff for us. So. So Community Spirit Day, Safety Information Day, McKinney Park as well, May 23rd. The
June 13th might be a good idea to do our celebration that day, and then we can talk about with the fire association about just doing the fireworks the same day as baking burgers. Then there absolutely is no conflict. They can end their day of bacon burgers and garage sailing with the fireworks at the end of the day, if that's the way the group wants to go, and then we can hold the full celebrations the weekend before.
I had thrown this logo wording out to you, Adam and Gary, quite a while ago. Does that work?
Yes.
I think we're happy with that, Brian.
Okay. Just a question, are you wanting promotional stuff? Do you think it'll get to that point where you're wanting promotional stuff?
A month or two, when we get a little bit closer on how we want to portray it, yes.
Okay, I just put in there Reese's Corners for now. That's open for discussion. The fins and fenders, I threw that in there. I know you were thinking of cutting it. You would not believe these. Hey, thanks for having it in town.
Is that right?
We got.
Yeah, don't cut that. I hear about it in London, so don't cut that.
Yeah,
When they just piled in, it was a parade.
Well,
Yeah.
our people are just yeah. I have old cars. Trust me, it's a big deal.
Do we have somebody another group lined up for the fins and fenders this year?
He's already reached out to me the day after Christmas and asked, I said, can you just, I said, well, pencil you in, but it may not happen. So we're penciled in, but it may not happen based on some discussions that we've had, whether another group, as long as they fit the theme of 50s, 60s, right? I guess. I'm not opposed to it at all, but I just penciled somebody in right now in case whatever else fell through. And the guys that did the retro cars last year, the events, they've already approached me the day after that event and said, if you wouldn't mind, we will organize the day for you. They will organize the park with the cars because they will probably 3 times the amount of cars in that park, way that they would set it up. And I know the guy very, very well that is the head of it, and I have full confidence that he'll just be as smooth, whether again, we partner with the Legion in the bar. They weren't thrilled with it last year, but I mean, any little bit helps, I guess, and they took care of it all. It was nothing to us, and well, just approach them at the time. They want to do it again.
For the Canada 125 celebrations, we shut down Ontario Street and Toronto Street. For the Fin and Vendors event, we could do that again. It gives more space for the cars to park. I wouldn't want to shut down Erie just because of access to the Legion and to Royal Lee, but Ontario and Toronto Street are really shut down for this event.
Spectacular, again, that's the same time we've always had it, so that the weekend before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, from Lonky Community Center for that one, October 24th, I guess, see if it's available. And then Saturday, December 12th for the event. Well, that's kind of for the Christmas in the Village event and so on. So that is our plan this year. We had talked as a group, if there was enthusiasm, time, budget, of maybe offering some more movie nights, but it's all weather dependent. Last year was absolutely horrible anytime you think about it. There was some discussion maybe about going back into trivia nights because we stopped it, hoping that the community groups would pick it up, and there was no desire to. So there has been some, I wouldn't want to say request, but some chatter have it again. So those are just some extras that may be thrown in, but those are the main ones that we're thinking of, I guess, for 2026.
We'd also discussed maybe looking at indoor movie nights, just because the time of the lights and it's automatically dark and it's not weather.
And then
A lot of participation in the holiday light contest last year.
So we had some, and I think we need to display it as a lighting competition, and I think it was great that we let people vote because the voting was actually quite close.
Good.
So I think we need to make it very open of, do you want to sign up for the competition or do you just want to be part of the lighting route? Because I think there was a lot of people that would have been part of the route that weren't necessarily wanting to be in the competition.
Did we announce who the winners were? Cause I'll be honest, I didn't know who they are and people.
We did.
Yeah.
I thought we also put it on our Facebook page, no?
Well, was Advantage.
Okay.
They were absolutely thrilled. Mike took it around to them maybe a week later.
Yeah, we did do little trophies this year.
Yeah, we did.
Very cute.
Little ugly trophies, but hey, they were. They were thrilled. Anyway, we got a sponsorship out of them as well, so that I guess worked out well. And the other guy that got it was a fellow down on Confed.
Oh, okay.
Won second last year and he was stunned.
Beautiful lights. And I think next year we should just ask people to send in their own photo of their house.
Yeah.
We did go around to take them, but.
It was unfair to the girls who went over and took the pictures because like, well, that's not the best angle or,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I called and complained.
Yeah. You're the only one.
No, they got it, one of his wife is a nurse and I was talking to her a few months back. And he was really focused on getting it first this time.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he did a great job though, didn't he? Yeah.
So well, there's not great attendance, at least there is a sense of enthusiasm.
Well, what I'm thinking actually was not so much not eliminating, but some way we could actually get more participation is where I was kind of going with this. How we could reach out to people. I'm just kind of something to think about over the next few months. That we can get more participation and more people interested. 'Cause I think it's a fun event as well.
And I wonder if we did a sponsored post that was just join our lighting tour.
Yep.
Because that wouldn't get flagged as like a contest with Facebook. Because the problem is we have a hard time doing sponsored posts with our lighting competition. It's competition.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the other thing too is when we run the competition cutoff, some people haven't even thought about putting their lights up at that point,
Yeah.
right? And I get it, but I mean, we can't run everything to the last day, so we struggle with making the cutoff. But I mean, so if we give them the choice of competition done by or competition and lighting tour, that may get more people involved.
Yeah, maybe. Certainly worth looking into, that's for
The
sure.
other thing we could make it more thing is instead of I know you want to do it with Christmas in the Village, but I think you should move the deadline further out in December.
Yeah.
Okay, in Kamoka, they had over 50 houses. And they had to move it a week because of the weather, and then they added more to it, so.
Yeah.
And they split the town of Kamoka and Kilworth separate. And so they had 2 trophies and it worked really good.
And we did have a few people reach out to us that had missed the deadline by a day or two. And we added them in, obviously. Wasn't a big deal.
Like I was scrambling to get the dealership done by the 12th. Yeah.
It's okay, you'll be more prepared next year, you know,
Right.
it's.
The kid quit. I got a forklift that's stays in the building now, so. They left.
Any discussion on the 2026 proposed dates?
We are still doing summer send off, right? It wasn't on that
It
sheet.
wasn't, I did include it in the budget just for a little bit of flyers. To me, it's what we're going to because tremendous success.
Yeah.
Or
I was just curious what it is that they.
Plus,
As long as we get the right
Yes, oh, no.
Yeah.
Go and label our tents
Oh,
this year.
yes, we'll have a spring house cleaning labeling party.
We have a nice tent that you can just change the panels.
Problem with summer send off is
Gonna ask you if it.
have to be a
Remember.
very small.
Very specific.
Very specific, because they have so many vendors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a 10 by 10, right? That's an list.
So because of some other things I'll say in a second, is it okay to send out the proposed dates to vendors?
Yes. Maybe take the location off.
Yeah, I'm taking the location off, but the proposed dates.
Then you gotta get that stuff booked.
Yeah, I think we need to start moving forward. I know that we've asking a lot with the extra celebration and the extra funds. And again, I don't think we want to recreate the wheel with that. I think we just want to expand upon what you're already doing for the Canada Day event and just make it 30 times bigger than what we're spending. So, and then, like I said, the historical stuff.
Hi, Jill. Yes.
I just have to say regarding the dates, I kind of like Adam's idea of the Father's Day because then that includes the garage sales, it includes the fire thing. I guess what I was thinking of for the 25th anniversary, at least in my mind, and it could be for all the other events, is kind of a theme of call out to the community and have as many people / groups involved or invited. So like, you know, for the 25th anniversary. So you could have the firemen with their, with their bacon burgers. You could have the Lions, like just showcase what it is that we have in our whole community and bring it out to the public and say, here's what we've got to offer. I don't know, but I would like people to.
Before we get too far down the road, is if Nicole can take the list from the Christmas in the Village group, add in the Huron Shores Optimists and the Kamlaki Firefighters Association. If anyone thinks of any other community group, Kamlaki Athletic Association, I said that, Firefighters Association, Huron Shores Optimists. And then maybe we can say, hey, anyone interested in participating on it, it'll be either Mother's Day or this day. Let's meet and we can maybe try to pull that together for the end of February.
I think if we're
or
going
early
to,
March.
I think if we're gonna do it for Father's Day weekend, though, we would want to do this Saturday afternoon because I think people will garage sale in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Realistically, by 2 o'clock, people will be done garage selling. But if we try to do an 11 o'clock event, we're just gonna.
Oh, no. And you're gonna compete directly with bacon burgers then too, so.
And that's my first thing that came to mind. Are we going, if we go with the Father's Day weekend, and let's say we don't partner with anyone else, are we going to sacrifice those other events?
I think we wouldn't if we started in the afternoon. And if we want to do like a fireworks thing, it would be easy enough to do like a more later in the day event.
Yeah, and again, but
Available.
I think we need to something for all ages. So if we're starting actually like later afternoon and it goes into the early evening and there is a beer tent and a band of some sort along with a bunch of other events, I think that would be great.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to start booking.
Oh,
That, yeah, if you haven't done it already, yeah, like.
no idea.
Yeah. Well, I know all about it. I do 2 years in advance.
Okay, so moving on, 9.4, Easter extravaganza. I have to add this in because I just happened to make a phone call today to the little Hobby Hill farm, just inquire. And they go, oh, what date? And Coach goes, oh, which didn't sit well with me. He says, well, I said, come on. I said, you've done it for the last 3 years. Well, can I know tomorrow? He said, sure. So that's why it's on here. They already have something booked, but it's not 100% confirmed. But if I let her know tomorrow, then we are in. Same price as what we were last year. So 300 an hour. We've had them for 2 hours. If we prepay ahead of time, they give us 10% off.
Baby animals are so cute.
Yeah,
It's a big piece though.
it's a big piece of that event. It really is a big piece of that event.
Agreed.
Online, are you guys okay with that? Having those animals there?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't ready to talk about this yet, but I kind of have no choice. So I'm gonna need a motion, which I asked Nicole about. So can I have a can I have a mover and seconder, for that? So moved by Ingrid, seconded by,
Listen.
Melissa, sorry. That we hire Little Hobby Hill Farm for 2 hours for our Saturday, April 4th, Easter extravaganza. Right.
That's okay. Do we wanna make it a little more general, just in case we start buying things for Easter this month? It's like if we need to buy,
Would you rather have a motion
can we have,
now, just towards Easter?
can we just have a motion to approve an initial budget of
Well, yeah, we budgeted,
$2,000 for Easter? I think,
because we do have a lot of stuff already.
yes, yeah, but we're gonna have to start buying candy and stuff, so.
So is that what the budget amount was 2,000?
Yeah.
I think that's more than generous.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's a better way to
Then we
approach
can
it then.
make sure we book Twisted Chris and get all that stuff.
Is movers and seconders, everyone okay with that change? Let Nicole read it back. We just got it.
Okay, so it'll be Ingrid, seconded by Melissa, the special events committee approved spending $3,000 on Easter egg extravaganza.
Yes.
All in favor? Approved. Thank you very much. I will call her tomorrow. In that respect, Gord, can I have you check with the Optimist for Saturday, April 4th, just to make sure that they're okay with?
We'll definitely do that.
Thank you.
And if you can check with them what they wanna do for food, if they're donations or cash or what they wanna do.
Okay.
They've usually done through there.
And if they don't show up 5 minutes before the event starts? Or was that spectacular? They showed up 5 minutes. before the event. Okay. Nicole, you had something else.
Yeah, so we got an email today that Community Futures Lambton is doing another grant this year. So applications open March 1st, close at the end of March. But maybe it'd be a good idea to do a grant for the Plympton-Wyoming nursery.
So what was the grant that was already put in for that?
There's no grant put in for that. That was seed funding from the municipality.
I thought there was $5,000.
Sorry.
That was put in for a grant, was there not?
Yeah, we asked for $5,000. I'm sure we did.
Yeah, you did.
I did have that wrote down.
Some of it was for the anniversary and the rest of it was for,
That was the Grow Grant. That's strategic marketing and communications. So that would help promote the event, but it's not for the event.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, why not? That sounds like a great idea. Is everyone okay with that?
I love free money.
and how much do you want to apply for?
What did we ask for Christmas in the Village?
2,500.
Would just match that to be safe.
Everyone okay with that? Yeah, okay. Perfect, thank you.
We do. Good at it.
Did you get it back from the foundation group? On the grant?
I know they met, that announcement should be coming out shortly.
They've announced.
Yeah, we.
I didn't see it in any financials. You phoned me on it one day, but I didn't see it in any
Yeah.
financials.
Norma actually got something, but they gave us 2,500. Remember we
Is
applied,
that what we asked for? It's 25?
no, we asked for, I think,
Five.
5.
Yeah.
We got 2,500.
Perfect. It's good. Online, anyone have anything else? No. Jill, hope you feel better. Anyone here have anything else?
We tried to organize a meeting with the community groups about the 25th anniversary at the end of the month, so. I think the whole committee has to be there, but if chair and vice chair are available or anyone else who wants to attend, you're welcome to. I don't know, Nicole and I will work on sending that out this week sometime.
So yeah, getting back to like the dates and stuff like that, it is very tough with vendors right now to book food vendors and all that. So I know we haven't even got into any of those kind of discussions, but I think, are you guys okay if I'm having to talk to someone and it's like, I need to know now to book them based on kind of the numbers that we've always had for 4 years? Is everyone okay with that? Yeah, some of the people that used to do it don't, so that's a little tough. It's like we've done it 4 years with them and they're holding it tentatively, so.
And I think with the 20th or two of the next group meeting, we should finalize the date.
Yeah.
So we'll get the community together at the end of February, week or so before we get together here. And then we'll get a general feel which one of those 2 Saturdays works best, or if it's spread over to. I don't want to burn you guys out, so maybe one day is probably the best way instead of.
Everybody good? Somewhere I have a motion and all that. Okay. I have a motion here, moved by Carolyn, seconded by Gordon, that the special event committee adjourn until the March 2nd meeting at 7 PM. All in favor?